What's up, everybody? This is Cooley. Welcome to the Redbeard Podcast, where I always hang out with my buddy.
Hey, guys. What's going on? Tony over here.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
What's going on today? Anything good?
Yeah, man. So one thing I think we need to just start off with is Preacher, which we definitely caught this past Sunday during the premiere, and we were also tweeting up a storm. So, yeah, man, I thought the premiere was awesome. I thought it was a lot better than I expected it to be. It was a lot more violent than I expected it to be, which was great. AMC definitely wasn't holding back with this.
No.
So it was great, man. I not having read the comic books, I didn't really know what to expect. But from what I had already seen the first 4 minutes, which AMC had released like 2 days before. So I was definitely interested to see where this was going to go. But after the first 4 minutes, it just kept going. It was just like one thing after the other. I feel like they shoved everything into the first 90-minute episode, and they're going to premiere it again this Sunday. They're going to show it a second time. So yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what people that haven't had a chance to see it yet, because last Sunday was also the mid-season finale of Fear the Walking Dead. Right. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think this Sunday will give people a chance to check out Preacher if they haven't had a chance to do it already. But man, just great acting all around. Dude, being a fan of the comic books, what did you think, being able to see the full episode?
I thought it was awesome, man. I thought, Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen did a great job adapting this material. It's not something that, if you read the comic, man, you would know, like, it's not something that would translate directly to television. Like a cable network, like one of the premium networks where, they can do a late night show or something like that and like say it's, mature audiences only, sure. But the budget would have to be insane for it to actually look decent as well. Because it's also the comic book is it's like a world travel. Like they go all over the world, like looking for God. Mm-hmm. Basically, he's like hunting for God, like trying to find him so he can ask him questions like, hey, where the hell have you been? Right. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And for them to do that on television, it would just be an insane amount of money. So I get what they're doing. Like, they're kind of localizing it. It's all going to be in the town of Anvil for now. What happens in season 2, who knows? Mm-hmm. But for now, like with the budget that they have, I think they're doing the best they can. And like, it is obvious that these two love the comic. Yeah. Because everything that they're doing is in the spirit of what Ennis wrote. Cassidy is directly plucked from the books. The one thing that bothered me just a little bit, but it wasn't. It obviously wasn't a deal breaker, because I still like to me he was the star of the show. Cassidy is a little bit less ambiguous about being a vampire. We just get right into it. Yeah. He gets attacked by, he's lured onto that plane by the the vampire hunters. He finds out that they're vampire hunters. They get into a fight, and all of a sudden he's just chomping on some dude's neck, comes up with a bloody face, dives out, survives a friggin' plummet from a plane, hits the ground, creates a crater. His body parts are all over the place, but then he finds a cow, eats the shit out of the cow, and then becomes like fine again. So like, we know he's a vampire. Like, sunlight burns the shit out of his hand. Like, it's not ambiguous at all. Like, there's no question in your mind. Where in the comic books, it was a little more like, hey, is this guy off his rocker? Like, does he just think he's a vampire? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and like you never get the sense that he truly is. But
I think maybe they just wanted to set it up off the bat, like establish what he was right from the beginning. Yeah. I don't think they want to waste time with episodes to kind of have people try to figure that out, because I feel like. But
that's the thing; it's never really. So in the book, it was never really established. It's like, even at the end,
it was like left open to interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a fun thing. Yeah. Right? But I think in a way, and this is why it bothers me a little bit, I feel like they're underestimating their audience. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I think like the audience is they're not shooting for the cerebral audience that would be reading Preacher, where they're trying to they are trying to walk that line, but having everything just thrown out on the table like that, like it's like it's almost like they don't trust that the audience will pick up on it and figure it out and have that theory and that they're going to enjoy having that debate, because I think they would.
But I also feel like there's, they have a reason for doing everything, and they have obviously, an idea in mind of where they see this story going as a television series. So there probably is a reason why I think they established that the way they did in the first episode. Because if it's kind of left open interpretation over the course of the entire Preacher comic, and they basically tell you what the deal is with that guy in the first episode, then there's a reason. I think they know where they're going with this character. So, I mean, I'm interested to see kind of why they did that in the first episode and what this does to kind of like the storyline. I also found that, I mean, when we were tweeting, it was really funny to actually get, we got some tweets favorited by AMC, and also got some favorites and retweets from Ian Coletti, who was actually playing Arspace. So
yeah,
that was pretty cool. He actually was super cool, man. I thought his character was awesome. I thought it was a very interesting character. After Cooley kind of filling me in on why he looks the way he does and so forth. So knowing that, kind of going into that, didn't leave me asking too many questions.
Right.
But he did, we did actually ask him straight out, like I said, how long did it take you to actually, get that makeup done in the makeup chair? And he said way too long. So he's probably in there for I'd say a good 5 hours trying to get that done. I didn't really have, I thought it looked good, but I had a little bit of a qualm with it. And that was that the makeup where his mouth obviously goes into his face. Obviously it's supposed to kind of resemble an asshole.
Yeah.
Hence his name, but,
which they never call him Arspace.
Yeah, but everybody does. But
he's Eugene.
Eugene, exactly. But it's more fun to call him that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking at that, and the only thing that I wasn't really too happy with was I felt like the lines of where his skin was going into his face just looked too prosthetic for me. It looked like latex. It looked fake. You know what I mean? And I know that obviously that's something where it's kind of a hard thing to pull off, but I just felt like I was looking at somebody with makeup effects on. That's pretty much what it felt like to me. So I'm looking to see if that improves in further episodes. But I mean, it was a very small thing. I will give Ian Coletti a huge shout out, man, because you notice that when he talked, they actually had subtitles, because it's extremely hard to articulate with that kind of stuff on.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And in real, in life, if you had a mouth like an asshole, it probably would be really hard to articulate too. So it works.
Yeah, it did work. Yeah, but I like how what's his? I like how Preacher was basically just everything he said, clear as a bell. Yep. Didn't question it at all. So. I thought it was a cool character, and
speaking on that effect though, the Arspace prosthetic, for me, I think the look of it, the visual, would have been okay if they had done something with the audio, because to me the audio is what threw me off. I thought he looked great, but I think the audio just sounded like he was talking behind a mask.
Yeah, I agree
it felt like his voice was bouncing off of the mask and bouncing back into his face. You could feel that he was talking behind something.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like he was talking like this.
Yeah, instead of recording a voiceover, right? A clear voiceover with him muffled and weird sounding, and then playing that over, him acting out the role. I think that probably would have been better, and it kind of would have added to a little realism of what that looked like. Because sound, but I mean, and I know you know this. I mean, sound is key in anything. You can take sound and you can make shitty video look amazing because the sound is great. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not saying that that's a good practice, but
how freaked out would have been? Or do you think it would have added to the character for when he went to talk? Right, it sounded like this. He was like, "You think darkness is your ally?"
It kind of sounded like that. He kind of sounded. He did kind of sound like Bane, didn't he? Yeah, that.
I was born in it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sorry, preacher. Right? Like,
I can't speak correctly. It was just funny, like when because I'm thinking about like who has spoken behind a mask, and I'm like, oh, it's freaking Bane, you know what I mean? Like that was kind of but I think they had a cool effect to his voice where it made it work, and Bane's supposed to have that sound.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy, it sounded like he was speaking behind something like that was blocking his voice as an actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like a hindrance for the actor, but
which points back to what I was saying to you before is that like I think it was totally budget at that point. Like it was like how much budget can we sink into this? They already sunk a lot of it into creating Genesis, which is the comet that's like flying around and like running into people and like that. I bet you that ate up a lot of their money. You know, to do that.
It probably did. Now, what do you think that? But then again, I mean, it's being produced by like Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. I mean, like those guys got money and AMC's got money. So I don't know if budget was necessarily a problem, but they will get more funding because this is obviously going to get picked up if it keeps going the way that it's going. I mean, like, did they film a full season already?
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like, they're not using their own money.
Well, no, I know
like, that. Unless you're Spielberg, like you don't use your own money.
Well,
like
no, the producers definitely, they put their names on it and they throw up something for it.
Right, but I don't think it's going to be a lot until it's a proven success.
Right, yeah, and I think that the studio only gives them so much money. You know what I mean? They give them, obviously, like a budget, right? But I don't think that... I feel like for something like Preacher, where they obviously pitched to them what effects they were going to need, I'm probably sure that they had that capped already. They're like, in order to make this pilot work, we need this effect and we need this effect. So I think that was already kind of worked into the budget. Something like that had to be.
Yeah. Like, I mean, look at Walking Dead. Like, when it started, like, you had, like, a bunch of people, like, just hanging out in the forest with a trailer, right?
Yeah.
Like, one motorcycle, and, like...
Yeah, now it's crazy.
And you had, like, like, a couple of scenes with lots of walkers and shit like that. Now you got fucking walkers everywhere. You got prisons and fucking, like, like, the sets are, like...
Insane.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, Terminus was ridiculous.
Yeah, Terminus was ridiculous. I think... Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
I think the budget, I think the budget just went up and up and up and up because it became like such a phenomenon. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Preacher, where you'll start seeing like better effects, better makeup, better, and it'll be gradual, so it doesn't just throw you off. Like one week he looks, like he does now, and then the next week it's like, oh my god, that's like disturbing. Like it'll be like gradual, like over the course of the season, and then next season it's going to look like
even better.
Yeah.
I think as far as like effects go, I did like Cassidy. I thought was pretty sick though. I like that ending scene where he's sitting like against this like shed, and he's in the shade, but then he kind of like sticks his hand in the sun and he's like playing with the fire.
Yeah.
Like for me that was interesting though, because as somebody who's a vampire, you feel like that would almost be painful. But he was just kind of like playing with it. Oh, you know what I mean? Like the fire. Yeah. And so I was just kind of like, okay. All right,
I was wondering where you were going with that, because you were like, as somebody who's a vampire, and I thought you was going to like speak from like personal experience. Like,
no.
As somebody who's a vampire, I can tell you that hurts pretty much. I was like, what the fuck? Where's he going with this?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not. I mean, even though by my pale skin, people may think so.
I was,
yeah. So I do look like I'm a shade away from an albino.
Yeah, because I was like saying to myself, wow, that explains a lot.
Yeah, it explains a lot why I hate the sunlight. But no, I mean, it definitely was interesting, man. He's probably the coolest character for me. I really like to see where he's going, and I tweeted too. I like how he jumps out of the friggin' airplane with an umbrella. I was like, what is he trying to be like? That's a nice Mary Poppins fall. Yeah, obviously it didn't help him.
I love that he actually tried that though. Like that guy is like ridiculously funny, man. Like I don't know if you've ever seen him in anything else, but he was in a show called Misfits.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Misfits is like one of my favorite British shows, man. It's hilarious, and like there was a character that actually ended up leaving, Tom, I think his name was, and when he left, I was like, man, why am I going to watch this anymore? And this guy ended up coming in and kind of taking his place as like the wacky like comic relief guy, and Brilliant actor, man. He's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he definitely is talented, man. I'm awesome character. Yeah, so Preacher Man, definitely a lot of cool things. I'm looking to see where that season goes because I was definitely dragged in from the first episode. Something else interesting happened recently, which I know I kind of briefly spoke to you about before we started recording today. There was a set photo that was released from Alien Covenant, which looks pretty cool. I don't really know what the big fuss is about. I think people are actually getting really excited because, it's a set photo from one of the first big set photos from Alien Covenant. But for me, it actually didn't really do too much. It didn't really show that much, but it's worth talking about because of all the buzz on Twitter about it. So basically what the photo shows us is one of the main characters, which if you're not familiar with, any of the cast yet, so Catherine Waterston is actually playing the character of Daniels, who we don't exactly know who she is yet. We don't know who she is as far as storyline goes. I don't remember her being mentioned in the past movie, but she's obviously part of this crew that arrives at this planet that they think is a safe place, I guess, and it is not. So the set photo just shows her in kind of like a hallway, and if you've ever watched any of the Alien movies, all the ships kind of look like circular, kind of like hallways that you would walk through. They're very cylindrical. So she's kind of like sitting off to the side in that. People are zooming in and saying that you can see tears on her face. I didn't really get that impression. It just kind of seems like she's sitting there looking at this room that looks to be partially on fire. So I don't really think there's much that we're going to know by looking at that photo because we haven't really, Ridley Scott hasn't really even established the storyline nor who the characters are. The only thing that we know is that Michael Fassbender is actually the only survivor that they find on this planet when they arrive, and he's like, the synthetic David that he was in the last movie. So I don't really know what people are, freaking out about. I know that in I believe it was Australia, there were some other photos where they had a huge set, which I found kind of hard to believe. They had this huge set piece set up, just like out in the middle of nowhere where like a lot of people could have seen this.
Yeah.
But it was, it looked like there was these, aliens, I guess, or what you would want to call like the thing that came out of one of the creators at the end of Prometheus. Which looks the closest thing to what we know as the alien in Prometheus. Came out at the end and like screamed. That actually was you can see like something like that on the streets taking down, which looks to be like another creator.
Right.
And they had all these like creators that look to be kind of frozen in almost like volcanic ash. So I'm looking to see how that plays into this whole storyline because they haven't really given us much to go on. Just we've seen kind of like these staggered set photos. We've seen that and we've seen something else.
I think it's obvious what that photo means.
Which one?
The one that everybody's like talking about on Twitter right now.
What do you think it means?
I mean, I don't know how you missed this, but that's Ripley's mother.
Could be. It could be, but it's not necessarily like defined yet. Like why do you think that would even be her mother?
She's wearing a tank top, dude.
Yeah, so what?
So
what?
So it's Ripley's mother.
It doesn't have to be Ripley's mother.
Who else wears a tank top?
Women?
Ripley.
Yeah, but it doesn't just
in the Alien universe, who else wears a tank top? Ripley.
Dude, partially, like not a ton. It was
because she had to grow into it. She had to grow into the role of her mother. Like how everybody becomes their mother.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be a prequel. Like before, I don't think it's Ripley's mother.
Yeah, it's a prequel. Like mother becomes before daughter, right?
I don't know. I disagree with you on that. No, I disagree.
Yep, she's gonna and David's the father.
I know. I don't think that at all. I disagree, man.
You heard it here first. Ripley is part synthetic. That's why she survives everything.
She didn't survive. She died.
That's right.
And
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yep, it's all good. So I don't think that...
it's why she bleeds white, though.
She doesn't, though.
She doesn't?
In the fourth movie, and she's a clone. So...
Fuck.
Yeah. So I don't... so I honestly keep, good job. I think way off. I don't think that any of that makes sense. But A for effort. So or A for
I'm fucking with you.
No,
right?
I know, but it's just like, but I'm like thinking that you're coming at me with like some like really good theories, and it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, figure it out, guys. Keep checking out Alien Covenant. Hashtag Alien Covenant on Twitter, because they keep releasing stuff all the time. Also, another top build cast member is Billy Crudup, who you guys might know from Watchmen, is actually in this. He's playing, has not been established yet. And also, the character that this gentleman is going to be playing has not been established yet, but is just also released that Danny McBride is now part of Alien Covenant, which is very interesting to me because he's like I bill him as like a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the roles that he's been in. So I'm interested to see kind of what his role is in this whole Alien universe. So, but hey, man, I mean, like they got some good people, a part of this cast. I don't think it's going to be a piece of shit. I think it's going to be something good.
No, even like the worst Alien movie is a great movie.
The last one,
Yeah.
Resurrection.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, they had some interesting parts to it. I mean, it got
it was fun to watch though. Like I didn't hate it. Like some
yeah, but it got a little weird with like Brad Dourif. He like the scientist who also, if you guys didn't know, this is the voice of Chucky. He actually was like this weird scientist in that movie who was like really obsessed with them, and then he ended up like being cocooned at the end and then like murdered, and it's like he's a little out of his rocker. He's like, oh, look at the pretty baby. It's like, dude, it's gonna eat your head in a second. He was like totally not in his right frame of mind.
Right.
But you need that character in the movie, who's just looking to get it.
There's like a reason for. I mean, like that's the thing. Like you need that character is the character that like it's why the whole expedition happens and stuff, because he's obsessed with getting these creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and looking at them from a science perspective,
right.
It always backfires. But moving on, man, I do want to kind of talk about something that I was not a part of, unfortunately, this past Wednesday, but you checked out STEAMBox RI.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man, for a little bit, because, people who listen to our podcast know that we sat down with those kids a couple months back, and they're awesome.
Yeah, they're the best, man. And a bunch of them are graduating, and one of them in particular designed this replica, I guess is the best word for it, of the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. Jordan Gomez, kid's 18. Has been like, talking to Rob about like, doing this project, and they sat down and he actually like did up all the plans. You can see I tweeted it out. I mean, I can post it up on the site, but he did up all the plans. Made it happen, and in the end, like the final outcome, I mean, you saw it. It looks amazing.
It looks like exact. I mean, I was actually kind of blown away when I was at work, dude, when I saw the tweet, and I pulled a couple of people aside. I was like, yo, check this out. And they were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks exactly like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Like, perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a photo booth, right?
Yeah, especially like when you go inside, it's like bigger inside than it is outside.
Yeah.
Like when you go inside, like the whole inside, it's like walking into a gymnasium, but it's in the size of a little like telephone booth.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. It's not like that.
No, I know. I was just going with it.
Thank you. But yeah, no, it's totally the size of a telephone booth inside too.
Yeah,
but it is it's a photo booth, like you said. They have an iPad set up inside, and it's basically locked to a photo app. So you go in, you hit start, counts down like to 3, 2, 1, and it takes a photo of you. And then it does it 3 times, and it posts it to social media for you if you have like the QR code reader on your phone.
That's sick. So
it's really cool, man. It's really cool. Great concept for like a time machine type thing, like where it takes your picture, like because that's timeless. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really cool shit. And I mean, that's not all they've done. I mean, like we talked about it before on the podcast. They built a hovercraft. I mean, they have an arcade cabinet that they put together and actually plays like hundreds of games. It's it's an amazing program, especially for kids after school to be able to get off the street and like be able to do stuff that is creative and really like puts their talent and effort into something that's not destructive.
Yeah, and I got to be honest. I mean, the last time we were there, I think it had to be like maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago,
about 4.
Yeah, when we talked to them, that was an idea they had. And here we are 4 months later, and it's legit built. Right. You know what I mean? It's not like they screwed around and said, we'll get to it. It's just an idea. Like, this is an idea we had. Here's the plans. Let's build it. It's built.
Yeah, he literally said our next project is going to be building a TARDIS. That was on our podcast.
But I wasn't sure if it was, you wonder if things like that, like that's a big project, if it's actually going to come to fruition. But seeing the tweet yesterday, I was like, holy shit, they did it, and I'm not doubting that they would, but it was done faster than I thought.
And compared to like other TARDIS replicas that are out there, it's like literally the best one that's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Now, how did they get all the stuff for this? Like, the materials, like, does Rob bring the stuff in?
It's all made out of wood. Like, so he goes out and he probably got, if he listens to this, he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's like he gets stuff donated. Like, he can get, like, materials donated. Or either that or it's part of his funding, where he takes that money as part of his funding and is able to go out and buy the materials. So they probably went to, like, Home Depot and, with the plans. Because if you go to Home Depot with plans...
Yeah.
Like, they'll actually...
they'll grab all the stuff for you.
Yeah, they just get it, and they say, here you go, this is all the stuff you need, and then they just take off and start building it.
Now, does it light up inside? Because that was one of the things that I thought was interesting. I mean, you posted it, but I was wondering, inside, is it just like the photo app, or are there actual lights that they installed?
So right now, it's using natural light, like, because those white panels... that are like the windows.
Yeah.
It's like, that's actually like smoked glass, it looks like, or maybe like a smoked plexiglass or something.
Yeah.
So it's almost like that rice paper look.
Okay.
So it lights up and it illuminates the inside, but it looks like there's actually like a wire inside like that would connect to, power or whatever. And maybe that's for lighting, but it could also be for the light at the top.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's something that they plan on adding later on. But that's actually a good question to ask them.
Yeah, definitely. Because that was cool, man. I was very impressed by them, and next time we got to find a time to kind of like both go out there again, man, and and talk to them and film some more stuff because it was great. And I'm pissed I couldn't be there yesterday or a couple days ago, but I definitely want to go back and check out more stuff they're working on. Like, I want to get some footage of them actually film. Like, I want to film some stuff as they're building it.
Yeah.
And get them some exposure because they are kicking ass. And the Japan thing's happening, right?
Yeah, that's actually happening. They got tickets. They got the tickets now. Mm-hmm. The only thing they're doing is they're trying to save up and actually get the money to do things out there, like for food and the stay at the hotel and actually getting into those the Japanese animation studios that they're going to. I think he mentioned going to Studio Ghibli, which is one of the major studios out there. So it would be nice.
Yeah,
it would be nice to get some more money for them. So we're going to keep doing things, trying to raise some funds, to get them out there. And I know that he's working his butt off. And yesterday was a fundraising event. He had one last week, and I think they're getting close. So, we'll see how that goes. But hopefully everything works out fine, and they get out there and they have a good time.
Hell yeah, man. So definitely big shout out to STEAMBox RI. You guys are killing it. I was extremely impressed. If you guys have not seen the tweet that we tweeted, make sure that you get on Twitter at Red Bear Podcast and check that out.
And the more you if you see it, and you think it's cool, like it, retweet it. Like, it's things like that I really want retweets on, like that can actually help like get Jordan recognition.
Exactly.
And the Steambox crew recognition for actually like designing that and putting it together. Because then, hopefully people reach out to us. They want to get in touch with them, and maybe they want to, maybe get the kid some work or, feature him somewhere. Like, it would just be cool, man. Like, because it's great to be famous in Rhode Island for something, but it's better to get some recognition outside of Rhode Island because we're such a small state.
Exactly.
But yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah, and hashtag like Doctor Who, TARDIS, like stuff like that. That way, Doctor Who fans will see it, who will actually probably be impressed by it and want to retweet it.
Yeah.
So stuff like that,
I'm talking to him about actually maybe going to Rhode Island Comic Con with the TARDIS.
I was just thinking that, man.
Yeah.
That would be perfect, man. He would get a lot of pictures and stuff out of that, man, and exposure.
Mm-hmm. His biggest thing is like transporting it. Mm-hmm. But I'm
sure we could figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, like if we can probably all come together and make it happen. But it looks like it is a bitch to transport. It's first of all, it's heavy. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, it's all like solid wood, like oak almost. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's not oak, but I mean like it's fucking heavy.
Yeah, we can we can find it. I mean, if there's a way to get it there, and and obviously in the convention center they have freight elevators. So,
but I think he with a fresh coat of paint, each time. Get that shit out to like fucking Boston, New York, like anything on the East Coast. I mean, I know like going cross country is going to be a bitch, but like all over the East Coast, why not?
Hell yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, get exposure and show like what these kids are doing and what STEAMBox is all about, and I mean hopefully like get him some props and stuff.
Definitely. I definitely want to mention one thing. I talked to you about this earlier, man. So today I had a day off, and I watched a movie that did not do well in theaters, but I thought was hilarious, called Dirty Grandpa with De Niro and Zac Efron. Mm-hmm. That movie was hilarious. If you have not thought about checking this movie out because you thought it looked stupid, I beg you to take a look at it. I mean, like, I think De Niro has... he's a legend, and he's definitely done his job at becoming a respected actor, where he's done some really great roles and won Oscars, and he's a great actor. But I think in this point in his career, he's just looking to have a little bit of fun with some of his roles, and this is a clear example of that. I mean, like, I saw De Niro doing things I never thought I would see De Niro doing. So, and Zac Efron is the complete opposite of what you saw in like Neighbors. In Neighbors he's kind of like the frat guy, and in this movie he's kind of like he's a lawyer who's trying to be like make the right decisions and stuff like that. So
he's the straight man.
He's the straight man, and De Niro's actually the one who's kind of like basically his wife, or Zac Efron's character's grandmother dies, and it's established like maybe like 20 minutes into the film. He's like, "Why are you acting like this?" He's like, "Well, because I was married to your grandmother for 40 years." He's like, "And on her deathbed, she told me that she wanted me to get out there." He goes, "I haven't had sex in 15 years." He goes, "I want to fuck." And it was just like, holy shit. You know what I mean? I was like, and it was actually really hilarious, but, that chick from Parks and Rec, what's her name? Do you know her name offhand?
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, I mean, she was great in Funny People, but this is like, she's just taken her character in this movie like to the nth degree. I mean, like, she is kind of coming off as like this like slutty kind of girl, like just really funny, classic sarcasm. It's I can't say enough about it, guys. It was definitely worth watching, and my buddy Jim actually watched it with me, and he said the first 10 minutes of the movie he was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck, like it wasn't as funny as I thought you were making it out to be." He's like, "But as we watched it, it got more and more funny." So if you guys haven't checked it out, Dirty Grandpa, it's worth it. I mean, I got it on iTunes for like $5, so it's worth it. So check it out.
Word.
Yeah. What about you, man? I know you had some stuff that you found out about something.
Say that again.
So what about you, man? You have some stuff that you wanted to talk about, especially along the lines of Captain America. That's kind of big news in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't read this yet, so I can't really speak too much on it, but I read an article, because you know me, I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah. So you haven't read it yet, but you read an article? What do you mean? You mean like you haven't read the comic yet?
That's what I mean, yeah.
All right, I wasn't sure if I thought like you hadn't read. Never mind, keep going.
I haven't read the article yet, but I read it.
But I read it, yeah. I was like, what?
I agree with you, but I don't.
Yeah, you love that. But I don't. All right.
But yeah, so I haven't read the comic yet, but
Okay.
I read an article about it, and it's not like I went hunting for it. This shit was just popping up all over the place. It's there's a hashtag out there for it. Say no to Hydra Cap, and there's like all kinds of shit. Like people are melting down over this, man. Captain America is apparently a agent of Hydra.
This whole time.
This whole time, like, it's not like this is new or he's been like kidnapped and brainwashed like recently. Like, this is like since his inception, he's been an agent of Hydra. So like it's some crazy news. Like, now as far as like how that comes about and what the situation is and like how it plays out in the book, I haven't seen it, so like I didn't get the sense of betrayal that everybody else has, but everybody's like flipping out. Like,
I will say props to Captain America for keeping a secret.
Yeah, well, props to Hydra for taking an ass whooping all these years and not calling in
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
it's
man,
like every time you turn around, you're getting your ass whooped by this dude, and like how? Why?
Yeah.
When you could just be like, hey,
chill out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep coming.
Not in the face. Not in the face.
Yeah. You know? Oh my God.
Oh my God, what an asshole he is too! Just beating the shit out of people that he's working for.
I feel like that's why it's so hard to believe, this whole time that he's been an agent of Hydra. You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
What I'm saying.
Because of everything.
I don't know if it's that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's a sleeper, like where he didn't know that he was an agent of Hydra.
Okay, which might.
And I mean
sleeper
in the sense of the word that, like, he was brainwashed, believes that he's Captain America, and like there might be some kind of like code word that activates him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just like the light switch turns on, and he's.
And it's kind of like they did with Bucky in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So I don't know. We have to see. I'm gonna have to read it, and I'll give you some more information on that later. But it seems really odd to me that that's a direction that they would go in, but. I can say that I'm a huge Captain America fan, and this is like, it's a little gut-wrenching, to hear that he's been a villain this whole time. It does feel like betrayal, and matter of fact, like the editor, Tom Brevoort,
that wasn't audio. That was just Cooley making sounds.
Yeah, no, he's like, it's like I think it's a Canadian name or something like that. Tom, don't be mad. I just don't know how to say your name, but I know it. Okay. That's what matters, is that I know your name, so that means you're doing something right.
Right.
All right, cool. So anyway, this guy and Nick Spencer, basically, like their take on it is like, yeah, it should feel bad. Like you shouldn't.
We're fucking with your life. Like your
you
whole
shouldn't be
vision,
happy about it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be happy about this. If Captain America was a real person and you found out that he was not anything that he portrayed himself to be, but he's somebody that you looked up to, idolized, and followed, and then he turns around and he's like actually an evil person that represents everything that you're against, it should feel bad.
Yeah, you'd be pissed.
Right? So, bravo. Like, I'm not mad at it. Right? I do want to see where they go with it. But the other cool thing about it is that I was kind of mad. Because, like, they showed... I was mad about something else, though. I'm going to tell you what that is.
Okay.
So, because I was just like, yeah, I know, I'm cool with it, but I was mad. No, they showed, there's the Avengers Standoff series where they actually brought Captain America back to his youth. Because the whole reason why Sam Wilson, the Falcon, becomes Captain America is because the super soldier serum breaks down in Steve Rogers and kind of, makes him into this old man. Like he starts aging like he should have all these years. So now he's just an old man, and he's like not able to actually perform as Captain America. And I don't mean like sexually. Like, I'm sure that's probably still a problem as well. But like, I'm talking about like as Captain America, the superhero, like it's too much on his body.
Right.
And and so Sam Wilson's Captain America, and it took me a second to get into him being Cap.
Okay.
So now I'm into the Falcon as Captain America, and I'm thinking it's really cool that you have like a black guy as Captain America. It's great. And then all of a sudden I hear that Captain America's back. So now you have Steve Rogers as Captain America and Sam Wilson as Captain America, and I'm just like, that's fucked up. Like, you finally gave us a black Cap, got me into it. Like, you actually turned, because I wasn't, it was like, you would think naturally I'm a black guy, I'd be like, oh, Captain America's black. This is awesome. No, I wasn't. I was like, I wanted White Cap back. I felt racist, right? But I wasn't. It's just that I really wanted my Captain America back.
Yeah.
Right? But then I got over it, and now Sam Wilson's my Captain America. Then they fucking flipped the script again. But the cool thing about it, and the thing that I'm actually kind of happy about, is that they brought him back, and now he's evil.
Okay.
So Sam Wilson is still Captain America for all intents and purposes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not two Caps. It's not this. Sure, he's another Captain America, but he's the evil Cap.
He's the evil Cap, yeah.
Yeah. So bravo, kudos, hats off. I will get back to you guys as I read more and actually can speak on it with an educated, point of view. So, we'll see what happens from here.
Definitely. Was there anything else? I did think there was something else that you wanted to talk about, right? I forgot exactly what that was.
Nope.
Was it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And by the way, obviously we did say last podcast that this week we're going to have some video for you guys. That is still happening. So the way that we're doing this is we don't want to actually, make a video version of this podcast, because if you guys are listening to it, then why would you want to watch the video version of it? Hey, it's just double of the same content. So what we're doing is we actually have a segment that we're going to put out for tomorrow that we want you guys to check out. So make sure that you check that out. That's going to be up on our site. We'll tweet it out because, it'll automatically be tweeted anyway, so you guys can check that out. So, make sure you check out our video content as well, because we're doing a little bit of both.
Word.
So I don't know about you, man, but I think I got everything out that I wanted to talk about this week.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, and you got your cookout on Sunday, so you excited for that?
Yeah, get a little meat.
Yeah.
Get a little meat on the grill.
Hell yeah, man.
A little smoke.
Yeah.
A little fire.
I think you need both of those to cook meat on the grill.
That's right.
Yeah, so it'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it. So with that being said, I'm done. Peace.
Peace.
Later.